All right, welcome to Heavy Radio episode 27. This is Eric back again with my man Marco, and this week, metal musician and metal extraordinaire aficionado Alonzo Donoso is in the house. How are you guys doing today?
Woo!
Heavy Radio 27.
Hell
Yep.
yeah, in the building.
Thank you for having
How's
me,
the
guys. I've been wanting to do
yeah,
this for a while, so no.
for sure. Glad to have you on, man.
Yeah, and you're coming at us from Chile.
All the way to, yeah, you would have waited a couple more weeks, I would have been back in the States.
Right?
Are you in the
International
area?
metal.
Are you in the area that you grew up in, or somewhere else?
I'm actually in the same region, like almost 2 blocks away from when I grew up.
Wow.
Bringing back the memories, man. I'm
Definitely.
sure.
A lot of memories.
Well, hell yeah. Well, we will get into that in a little bit here and find out more. But first, we will jump into some news stories. Marco, did you want to start us off with news?
Yeah, we got new Halloween getting closer. Teasers dropping, sounding amazing to me. April 2nd, 2021, Skyfall will be officially released, the first single. The little clips that they've shown and what I've heard sounds like everything that I would hope for so far.
Yeah, I bet you guys are hyped for that one.
I am super hyped for it. Actually, my girlfriend here, she recorded a video when I heard it, and my eyebrow just went up like all the way up to my. I think I caught up in the hair up there, and I was speechless. I thought it was a joke
Yeah.
at first, and then when I started listening to it, I was like, oh my god, just I think I ended up listening to like 10 times for whatever leaked on the internet. I don't think that that's the
I,
final mix though,
no,
but
I think it's impressive how all three vocalists sound really strong, like all on top of their game.
yeah, I was a little concerned about Darius for a while there, but I think that he got back on the game and he is doing good, very good, very good.
Hell yeah. I got a few news stories here. Um, Former Queensryche singer Jeff Tate is back in the studio, and he said that he is looking to make something more accessible. And it sounds like his main goal. He said it's been his underlying goal in his life to make like the best sounding possible record he could make. So I guess that's he's going back in the studio to really outdo the Queensryche stuff as far as recording. So I'm always curious to hear stuff from Jeff Tate. I still think he's got a great voice and really interesting melodies and lyrics. So I'm excited to see what he's working on and excited to hear new music coming from him. So sounds like it's gonna sound pretty huge. So that'll be rad. Um, Next up, I have Ginger are in the studio. That's a release I'm pretty excited about. They really got a lot of strong buzz the last couple years. Obviously, last year slowed a lot of bands' momentum down just because can't tour, but it sounds like Ginger's back in the studio ready to get right back to where they were. So um, I'm excited. I'm still getting into the band more and more and like learning more of their material, but everywhere you look in the metal world, they're really respected and climbing. So I'm excited to hear what they have
Yeah.
next going forward.
I think it's definitely interesting to hear them talk about what it's like coming from Ukraine and the different. I guess they're probably becoming one of the most well-known bands to come out of Ukraine. So that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
interesting, and just the dynamics of being from their culture and having the female lead the band is also pretty interesting.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that's what makes the more appealing, I guess, to a larger crowd of people, just considering that he's a female singer, and what she does. It was pretty impressive. I didn't know anything about him until last year, and then I checked out one of the songs, and I was just like, wow. I mean, like honestly, obviously, there's many other singers, female singers that do the same thing. You got Angela Grosso, you have the chick now that you replace her White from came into Arch Enemy, and you're like, okay, I know that they can do that, but this other chick is different. The singer for Ginger is much different. I think the transitions between one vocals to the other one is much more impressive.
Yeah, she's a beast for sure. So I'm excited about that one. Next up, I had Metal Injection did their Slay at Home stream with it was a free concert with members of Darkest Hour, Venom Inc., Mutoid Man, and more. And it looks pretty cool. If you go onto Metal Injection, you can actually watch the whole stream. They have everything up there, split out by band. You can watch the whole thing, but it's exciting. There's obviously we're still most all of us in America are still in most of the lockdown still as far as going to see shows. So it's nice to be able to watch some live music and do that and connect that way. So if you want to get a little taste of some live playing, some shows, and getting excited for things starting to open back up this year, it's a fun place to hang out. So, but it looked like a really fun set altogether. A lot of fun covers and guest musicians. So definitely go check that out over at Metal Injection.
Yeah, wanted to touch on Todd LaTorre's solo album, Rejoice in the Suffering. It's still going strong. I think it's one of the best records of the year so far. Definitely give it a listen if you have not already purchased it. And if you dig it, you can go to ratpackrecords.com and get all kinds of cool formats and presentation. It looks like it's been doing well. You know, not all the time does some metal record come out and do well on a number of different charts and Billboard and all that. So it's really cool to see Todd LaTorre breaking out and doing this on his own. And he also played the drums, I know for sure, on the record, which is pretty impressive. All around impressive musician.
Not only that, but this is, with all the years that he's been in the business, and even jumping into Crimson Glory too, this is the first time that he's done something solo. I think that he's waited like 20 some years to be able to do this, and then joining Queensryche and even doing drums in there, as you mentioned, Mark. His musicianship is extraordinary, and now I listened to the album the day it came out, and I'm pretty pumped. Pretty pumped. I hope that he, after all this COVID thing is over with, he's able to do a solo tour. I'll be really interested to go and see him doing this solo stuff because it's much different from Queensryche. It's much more aggressive. It reminded me a lot of Overkill, like early Overkill, even Anthrax for sure. So I think it's worth a listen.
Oh yeah. That's all I had for news. Marco, do you have any other news stories for the week?
Now we got a heavy metal time machine, living in a time machine this time. March 21st, 2000, Dio released Magica.
Magica.
And so Dio's own words was, Magica is the saga of blessing, a netherworld invaded by dark forces that vaporize people into pure evil energy. He said that he took on the evil perspective because most people don't think in those terms, so he left the ending in a way, evil always exists and good doesn't always triumph, the universal balance. So I thought this one was, finally Dio putting out a concept album, probably the closest thing you ever got to Dio, just like smoking the Gandalf pipe and telling you a story. And this is like, 18 minutes is that last track and I like how it doesn't really, it's separated from the music, from the strong tracks like Dreams, Fever Dreams, Chalice, Losing My Insanity. So with the help of Craig Goldie, Dio's magic was really strong on this album, and I still love cranking these tracks.
Hell yeah.
Right on, man.
Great album. So, returning, Alonso Donoso is our guest for this week. A little bit of backstory for you guys out there. Three of us actually formed the band Dark Mirror somewhere around 16 years ago, around March of, it was 2005, I think we were playing. And we've stayed playing together and making music. Alonso is also formed to create the band Unity. as well
Yeah.
as other projects.
What Dark
Um,
Mirror, Unity, been parts of Power Throne, Eternal Voyager, Words Unspoken. Anything we missed there, Alonzo?
No, I think that that's pretty much it.
some
Oh,
badass
and
YouTube
well,
covers.
yeah, but hold on, because Eric and I also are working together on new music that hasn't come out yet. So there's the one that missed.
Yeah,
New
yeah,
projects. But yeah, we that's how we know each other. To get to know you more, Alonzo, wanted to know um, just kind of your backstory, like what got you into. If you can tell listeners what got you into heavy metal.
Well, got me into heavy metal. Well, I can tell you that my best friend, when I was 14, he gave me for my birthday, he gave me dub tapes of Maiden albums, right? Cassettes.
Mm,
And it was from all the way from Killers to Fear of the Dark. And after I
sounds
heard that, it
strange.
was just like, boom, it was a change. It's somewhere in the in between. I had a chance to listen to a tape that had a Halloween track in it, and it had Pantera in it too as well. It had some DSide in it, which is kind of weird, weird mix, but it was just a cassette tape that somebody gave me, and I listened to it, and I was like, from then I was like, wow, this is something I wanna keep listening. I want more and more and more.
Mm,
I was 14 years old.
yeah, that's the
And then
time.
yeah, and then after that, man, in my house, as the years went by, we used to get together, and we used to. I remember listening to Anthrax Persistent of Time over and over and over again. Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth, the whole album. While we were trying to play ping pong table on a made up ping pong table in my house. So it was fun times, man. Fun times.
in those
Hell yeah.
in those early years that you were getting into metal, did you get to see any concerts yet? Then
No, the first metal concert I ever saw was Masters of Rock down in Chile here after being in the States. No, it was before I went to the States. It was in '98. It was Slayer. Maiden supposed to be playing with Slayer and Halloween. And during that time, the ex-president of Chile was held in custody in England by the Interpol for crimes committed against the human rights. So Maiden decided not to participate, so they brought Anthrax down. So it was Slayer, Halloween, and Anthrax. It was still a pretty good show. Masters of Rock, that's
Yeah,
what it was called that year, and I was like, and the cool thing is my ticket still says Maiden on it. That
that's
was
some
my first
cool
show ever.
history.
That was the first show ever saw.
yeah, what was the crowd like at that?
Intense, intense. I mean, I
But
was there, and it was thousands and thousands of people. I mean, we're not talking about usually like a local show with a few local bands and whatnot. Because back then I was already doing my musical thing, my covers and my Legendary, which was my Iron Maiden cover band. But those concerts are not compared to the real metal show with thousands more people around you. You know what I mean? So
awesome. Kind of to piggyback off what you just mentioned, singing in a Maiden cover band. When did you discover that you could sing, or what led you on that path of like, hey, I want to sing on stage in front of people?
well, that was in a different city, and I just started getting together with some people, and they say, we play music, and I say, well, I believed you had the ability to read English better than others, so I used to sit down and transcribe the songs, hours and hours of the day, at a time, just trying to figure out what the song said and whatnot. Because the only thing that you had was tapes, and they weren't original. The originals came with the lyrics and all that, so you had to make that up and try to figure out what he said and whatever. So then after I did that, I said, I know the song, and we can probably do this. And it was never my intention from the get go to, I'm gonna be a lead singer. I just happened to do it well enough that what I did on the stage um, attracted people, I guess. And following one of the greatest frontmen in the world, Mr. Bruce Dickinson, is just, he is not fun to watch. You go to a Maiden concert and there's no way that you walk out of there, man, this was disappointing. There's
No,
no way. No way. So I wanted
totally.
to be like him. I wanted to be, move like him and, be able to grab the people that way.
Hell yeah. Um, and kind of going from there, I wanted to ask you, been making music for a long time, playing music and shows and everything. I wanted to ask you what keeps you inspired, what motivates you to keep creating and writing.
Um, there's several things, but I think the most important thing to me is my personal experiences. I think that since they're always it's constantly changing, emotions and all that kind of stuff, it keeps me going and it makes me want to write depending on the state of mind and emotional state that I'm in at the moment. I have a 7 month old daughter that she's going to be 8 months next Saturday. That changed my world completely. The way I see the world, the way I perceive it, the way I want to show it to her. So all those things, in a way, put me in, inspire me. You know, Past experiences, of course, things that I haven't been able to tell anybody, or things that I start remembering from my childhood and things like that. And life events, political stuff that happens, things that are happening around the world, and in some way, somehow, not directly touch you, but they create a sense of awareness, and then you want to talk about it, just like other people do, you know. So
Mm.
all those things are important to me, and that's what makes me keep going, writing music or writing, mostly lyrics.
From
Yeah.
your musical journey as a performer and also as a fan, what are some standout experiences that you've had or gotten to be a part of, either playing music, being a fan of music?
Well, you remember, Mark? I mean, when I was at UNI, we crossed paths there for the first time. Being able to participate on a radio station and doing a radio show, being able to get invited to go shows, to go see shows, go to meet musicians, that is a huge experience, an advantage. I think that one of the biggest ones during that time period was for me that I had a chance to go to Gods of Metal up in Italy, and I personally invited by Hansi Kurz from my garden. I got to meet a lot of musicians. I got to meet Doro, Blaze Bailey. I got to meet Ronnie Lyle. I got to meet Andre Matos. Dude, Andre Matos, he's no longer with us.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
legendary group of people already.
you know what I mean? Virgin Steel, Manowar was closing that night, but and all the people from Blind Guardian. I mean, it was impressive. It was impressive. And now my older years, just been able to connect and social media with several people. I auditioned a long time ago for the band Jack Panther from Colorado, and I got a chance a couple of years back to go to Minnesota, play a show with them, and actually sing a song with them on stage. That's mind blowing. You know what I mean? Then I did the same thing with the Three Tremors, which is a combination of people from the band Cage, Tim Ripper Owens, and also from Jack Panther. All three
Yeah.
singers,
Yeah,
doing an album.
We had Sean Peck on our radio show
You
a few
did, yeah.
episodes
I
back.
supposed to be the fourth tremor or the fourth tumor, I believe, but I had
Yeah.
a chance to go and sing a Cage song, and in Chicago. You know what I mean? So it is impressive. Then as a musician, I think that the biggest thing for me was to be able to play um, with Queensryche when they stopped down in Des Moines in 2015, I believe it was, with my band Unity, and we play in front of what 700, 1,000 people. That was mind blowing, dude. That's I think that was the peak of everything as a performer, you know. So
Yeah, yeah, no, totally.
I think I had a lot
Um,
of a lot of things going for me, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's
you
always been
know,
impressive that you work with, still work with people from all around the planet. I guess playing music, that's been one of the things, and the fact that we got to do, in perspective so much from just a place like Cedar Falls is pretty cool. It just shows how, there still is a heavy metal community, and if you really get in there and be a part of it, you can really be a part of it from any small city, anywhere in the planet.
yeah,
yeah.
those
I'm
reverb
just thinking.
shows were great.
Strip it down even further more. If I was able to see my 14-year-old self now and tell him, dude, you're gonna go through all this, I would never believe myself. I would never, nah,
Yeah,
that's not possible. So when you're
yeah,
talking about small town, Cedar Falls, imagine from a guy from this small town in Chile, we're talking about 9,000 miles away. To be able to
hmm
fly to Europe and meet all these musicians, and then to this day I still meet musicians. I find a way to meet other people, and it's just, I don't know, it's a pretty cool experience.
yeah. I think that's a good barometer to have to think like, what would the young metalhead me think of,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
playing this
even
show or this, yeah,
riding around in a vehicle decked out with Iron Maiden and then showing it to Steve Harris.
And think about that. I completely forgot about that, dude. I mean, shit. I met the man himself. You know what I mean? The
Mr. Iron
creator of
Maiden.
all things made, and I mean, come on.
Yeah, seeing King Diamond, seeing Manowar, all those, it's like just it's been a lot of magical experiences for sure.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And up to this day, I mean, there's even people that I saw a long time ago that are no longer in the bands when I saw them, and they are
Hmm
keeping up with their fans. And one of them, in particular, Mr. Paul Allender, he formerly guitar player from Cradle of Filth. Now he resides in Minnesota. And he's about to release an EP or an album out there. And I remember showing him a picture when him and I were together. I was doing an interview, and he said, "Yeah, I remember that time. Remember the Quest?
Yeah,
Remember the Quest up in Minnesota, dude?
yeah,
I met a lot of bands in there. A lot of bands.
yeah, yeah, and I
Went to see
think
King
it's
Diamond there.
yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, there's
Oh,
still
yeah.
so much new music that I get excited about, and I think most people that love heavy metal, like, it's like, I don't know, it's definitely not gone. It's still, the flame is still burning. We'll get into some of that with our Heavy Radio 27 tracks. So we'll get it started, adding our tracks to the playlist, and start with older tracks. Eric, what's your first track?
Yeah, my first track is it's only a couple years back, but I definitely wanted to give it a shout out. The band is Spirit Box, and the song is Rule of Nines. Um, these cats are another band that's just getting hotter and just really impressive riffs, really catchy choruses, and the singer, her voice is just crazy brutal, and um, it doesn't fall into a. It's very their writing style is really interesting. So I feel like they're a cut above their peers as far as that genre, and um, yeah, I even get like hints of maybe Alice in Chains in the choruses, and I'm just really impressed by this band, and a lot of people are. So yeah, definitely check out Spirit Box with Rule of Nines.
Hell yeah. Alonzo, what is your first pick for the playlist?
You can't go wrong with this song, with this band. Iron Maiden, Power Slave.
Tell me why.
Do I need to be a Power Slave?
Yep,
Do I need to tell you why I want to be a Power Slave?
great
I
song.
need to. Well, you want me to tell you why I think that's fine? Is that is that
No,
why?
no, I was
No.
going with
Okay,
the
good.
lyrics, but
Okay,
also
good.
that I need no reasoning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
No
great
mean,
reason.
album.
where do you even start? Rhyming the Ancient Mariner. What is that, 13 minutes or something?
13 minutes
The
or so. Yeah,
lyrics.
that I think that whole album is just is a masterpiece. And it's hard to pick. We're talking about Solid Maiden. Which one is the best album? Come on, we can get into that discussion, and we're never gonna end. you know. But I think that
Yeah.
is a solid album from beginning to end.
No, totally. Back in the Village, 2 minutes to midnight.
Aces High,
Ace is
come on,
high.
bro.
Yeah. That's gross. Whole thing. Flash
Flash
of the
of the
Blade.
Blade,
Yes, thank
yeah,
you. Yep,
yeah.
there we go. Good album. I think we named all of them. Every
And I
track.
think it's a cool mix of I think it might be one of the more spread out albums when it comes to songwriting, because you got songs from Steve Harris, from Adrian Smith, from Bruce Dickinson. So it's like it definitely was a group effort. And yeah, I think just everything from the artwork to the way it was presented live on tour, and pretty much just one of Maiden's strongest albums, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And my first track it's from a band called Whiplash with Ticket to Mayhem. It was released in 1989 on Roadrunner Records. The album is called Insult to Injury. It was their third full-length studio album, and it's a thrash instrumental, which to me, I always like to find instrumental tracks from that are thrash. Just always usually take you on some interesting journeys, and this one definitely does. Whiplash with Ticket to Mayhem.
Right on.
Awesome. Um, my next one is a band I just recently discovered. They're from Japan. They're called Ninja Isu, and this song is Namahage. And this album came out in 2014. It's hard to describe. I'd say it's like Tony Iommi, Dimebag, like Jerry Cantrell, those kind of riffs, just those boggy, grooving riffs. Like they'd all be proud of this riffage, and this band's just really, really inventive and their riffage. Like it sounds classic, like the vibe you've heard before, but they just go in some really interesting places. Music speaks for itself better than me if I can describe it, but it's just they have cool twists and turns in there where you think the song's going to go one way and they mix it up and they'll come back, and this song's a great representation of that. So I'm definitely going to check out more from them because what I've heard is awesome. I just randomly stumbled upon them. So Ninja Isu with Namahage.
Right on.
Alonzo, what's your next pick?
Okay. My next pick will be Halloween, Kids of the Century. I picked a song. I understand that we're not in a new century, but I just happened to, again, become a father last year. So to me, the song has a bigger meaning. Also,
Mm-hmm.
this song comes out of the album Things Bible Go Ape from 1991, which it marked the departure of Kai Hansen out of the band and welcoming Mr. Roland Grappo. I think that is a very underrated album. A lot of people give shit to it, but I just think that it isn't your typical power metal album. But I think that the melodies and the songwriting on it is excellent. It's one of my favorite Halloween albums.
Yeah, I think I like probably about 10 years ago I just really dived through the whole catalog, the whole discography of Halloween, and I was really surprised by this album and Chameleon, how much that I actually liked both of them, just because of all the mixed things that you have read or heard from different people. And I guess it was a weird time for heavy metal in the 90s, and some tough things that Halloween were going through too as a band. So but I think the music is really strong on this album and Chameleon also.
I agree.
I'll have to dig into it. I haven't dug into that album, so I'll have to do that.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of the strongest Halloween had some humor mixed in. So to me, that I didn't even strike me as weird. I don't know why it was for some people, but yeah, I think they've always had humor sprinkled in to their songs through some of their best songs. So it's pretty cool. My next track, it comes from Night Demon. It's "Are You Out There?" Night Demon is from Ventura, California, and now they're with Century Media Records, and they've been putting out a slew of 7-inch vinyl singles. This is one of them, and to me, this track hits the mark hard in so many ways. It's Night Demon with "Are You Out There?" Crank it.
Hell yeah. This track is by Carcass, and this song is "Tomorrow Belongs to Nobody." Just good ass riffage. Some like the like the early mid '90s death metal here. Carcass super influential. This track is just brutal. The riff gets caught in my head all the time. When I'm playing guitar or anything, I'll just want to jam it out. And great song, great lyrics, and just super catchy and fun playing. A lot of death metal can sometimes get very serious sounding, and this just has a lot of fun and energy to it while still maintaining its brutality. So definitely dig into Carcass's catalog. The song is "Tomorrow Belongs to Nobody." What's your next classic track, Mr.
Oh,
Donoso?
wow, classic track. I don't know about classic, but again, diving into what we were talking about earlier about emotions and how that keeps you going into the musical aspect of things. I started discovering certain bands, and this one is as important as the ones mentioned before. This is Circus Maximus with the song "Arrival of Love." This one comes out of the album Isolate. It's the second full length from this Norwegian progressive metal band. This was released October 24th, 2007. And again, with the arrival of my little girl, my world changed. And, Mark, you know about that, having kids and all that, your world changes. And to me, this is, I've been digging into this band more and more and more. And catchy melodies, catchy riffing, and the musicianship is undeniable. Um, there you go. That's the song.
Hell yeah.
My next track is Traveler with Termination Shock. It's the
Oh
title
man.
track of their 2020 release, and they are out of Canada. And yeah, definitely this is one from 2020 that I have not gotten tired of cranking. Just really, I think, a brilliant record and a really strong title track. Crank It Loud, Traveler with Termination Shock.
That is a good fucking band.
Yeah, and badass artwork.
Hell yeah. My first new track is by a band called Bloodbound, and the song is
Oh
"Creatures of
yeah,
the Dark Realm." I have not listened to these guys a lot. I don't know if it sounds like Alonzo, you know these cats,
that's
Bloodbound,
right.
but I really like this track. It stood out to me. It is 100% uh, power metal in all the best ways, and just really catchy, great sounding record, just sonically. And I definitely want to check out more of Bloodbound now that I've heard this song because it definitely got my attention real quick.
Yep, I was able to meet these guys down in Prog Power, the first and only Prog Power that I've attended, and that was their first year as well with Manimal, and yeah, these guys are all excellent people, super responsive on social media and things like that, and yeah, the musicianship is awesome. It's very, very, very good.
Yeah,
Very, very good.
this song is great. Yeah, Creatures of the Dark Realm. Check it.
Yep, yep. That album is supposed to come out now in May, I think, May or June. The new album,
Yeah, I
something
bet
like that.
soon. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, because this was just the single I caught.
There's two of them now. They released two singles now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so go check the other one.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to for sure.
Yeah, and you said
Um,
who else was on that Prague Power?
oh my God, Angra with Fabio Leone, Doro, um, Ross Boss, Bloodbound, Manimal.
Ugh.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, that's
it
a
was sick.
strong,
Yeah, it was a
strong
strong
lineup.
lineup. It was a very strong lineup.
What's your first new track to add to the Heavy Radio
No.
playlist, YouTube and Spotify?
We're gonna go with this North American European band called Northdale that has an ex-member from Celador. We all know that band. So
Yep.
Bill Hudson
Hell
is
yeah.
his little baby, and the track from that album will be "Shape Your Reality." Um, the good thing is also I've been talking to Bill about song and all that. I didn't audition, but I did ask him for a few songs so I could cover them, and I think I did a pretty good job. And the more I got interested, the more in depth that I dug into the lyrics, it seems more like a Stratovarius theme album or band, if you ask me. A lot of awareness about what happens around us in the world and how you can change your way of viewing things, and your attitude can change and shape what's coming to you. You know, and in a way, I've taken this as a mantra just to go shape your reality. Trying to get um, first of all, trying to change the way that you look, the way that you think. It is all takes a lot of willpower out of you, and good things happen in you when you do things like that. So this song speaks very loudly to me. Shape Your Reality, Shake It Out, Northdale, and they're gonna be releasing a new album pretty soon here. I believe around August. They're working on getting the finishing touches on it.
Oh
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah.
It's
My
exciting.
first new track for the playlist is Haunt with In Our Dreams. This is the new track from their forthcoming Beautiful Distraction LP, and I have definitely been paying attention to Haunt, and this is probably my favorite Haunt song so far. It's Haunt with In Our Dreams.
Yeah, I got a chance to listen to that. I really like the direction they're going. It sounds like it's even more three dimensional than maybe some of their stuff before. So it sounds like it's just opening up, and um, yeah, I'm excited to see where they're going. My next track and last track for the week is by a band called Arion, and this is "I Love to Be Your Enemy." And I really like this song. It's another band I just caught for the first time. The genre is hard to define because it sounds like it'd be power metal maybe at first glance, and in ways it is, but there's a lot of groove metal in there. Maybe even a little bit of like more like the modern, like the new metal vibe, as far as like the lyric delivery and rhythm. So just a lot of genres, and might not think they would work together, but they definitely do. And the production's really awesome. Just really good bass tone, and drums and guitar just sound kick ass. So definitely check out Arion, and the song is "I Love to Be Your Enemy."
Yeah, touching a little bit on that area, and it's, to me, it's almost like an Avantasia kind of project because they invite a bunch of singers, a bunch of musicians in there, and it has a lot of progression. And yeah, it's very interesting to check out most of um, all of the work that they have. If you check it out, you'll see the singers from Camelot, singers from Pagan's Mind, singers from the
Okay.
Blind Guardian. Yeah, yeah, it's a whole bunch of group of people that he
Like a project.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
That's basically it, and it's interesting, very interesting.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I want to listen to more of it because I was really, really impressed with what I heard. That's
Definitely.
awesome.
My last newest track will be the band Witherfall with the song "As I Lie Awake." That comes from the album that was released. Oh, it's about to be released. I think it's a couple days. I believe it's in the 23rd. I believe, I'm not sure, but it's this month from the Curse of Odin. That will be their album, and it's really interesting how this guys, Jake Dreyer and Joseph Michael, came from a band, from a different style of band, more like a 80s heavy metal band. And then the name of the band escapes me, but um, was it? Let me check it out. Hold on, give me one second here.
No worries.
Joseph
Give the proper credits.
Michael. Yeah, man. He used to be in White Wizard. They both used
Oh
to be in
yeah.
White Wizard, and
Oh
they both,
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
so they both quit White
Okay.
Wizard and they continue working together. And they said, dude, we need to do something else. They came out with the
Mm,
first album, and dude, um, to me, it was like, oh my god, I can't believe that this guy can sing like that. To me, it was
yeah.
a mixture of King Diamond and and some very dark melodic Catatonia or some stuff like that, And then when you add Jake Dryer, virtuoso on the guitar, and it's just wow. And then you have Kraftwerk on bass, and now they added none other that what is his guy's name? He used to be the drummer from Necrophagists, man. He is uh, he auditioned too for Dream Theater. Um,
Okay.
yeah, hold on, let me. Who used to be in there? God, I'm so bad with Mark Miniman. My God,
Boom.
he is incredible on the drums. Incredible. And side note, I think that he should have been the drummer for Dream Theater.
Hot
That my vote
takes.
would have
Hot
been that.
takes.
Yep, that's what my vote would have gone to. I know it's hot take. Yeah, I know. I get it. That's the money. I gotta pay it.
Let the record show.
It's my
Yeah,
opinion.
you mentioned you had Carcass on the playlist earlier. This next new track from me features members of Exhumed and Carcass. It's Pounder with Spoils of War from 2021, Breaking the World. And yeah, this is like, a lot of times you hear the classic metal sound and then people branch out and get more extreme. This is kind of the other way around. So members from Exhumed and Carcass um, created this band Pounder, which to me is really melodic, definitely heavy metal, a mixture of classic metal and power metal. Check it out. It's hitting real hard. Pounder. The track is Spoils of War from Breaking the World.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So that was Heavy Radio episode
Heavy Radio
27.
27 with Alonso Donoso from coming at us from Chile. And so, how at the moment, what have there been people trying to have concerts yet, or has that not even been a thing yet in Chile?
No, it's not. It's not. People are. There's still a group of people that are skeptical about the whole thing, and taking care of each other. And because of that, then the region has been in quarantine since the last week.
Has
Um,
your family and friends been able to stay clear of being directly infected, being sick, or have you had to deal with
correct.
that?
Correct. A portion of them have followed guidelines, that follow the health regulations, and even getting vaccinated. And some other ones believe that it is, you know, it is
Yeah,
not what
some.
it's supposed to be.
Hmm.
Which,
Yes,
you know,
I think
we
that's
know
you
that well here.
definitely have that all over the planet. I think,
yeah,
and
We know that
correct.
very well.
um, yeah, so it's definitely a interesting time, and I think we all actually share it a lot in a lot more ways than we think. And almost everywhere, every place you go where people gather, there's such a wide range of opinions on everything related to it. So I think, yeah, that is really the best you can do. Do your best to take care of yourself and your friends and your family, and we'll have to get through it together, one way
We
or the
will.
other. One way
We
or the
will.
other.
We will rock again. We will all be together, banging our heads shoulder to shoulder again. So
No, definitely,
stay
it's just hard to
optimistic.
take care of yourself and your family when even part of your family doesn't want to do that themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's not a matter of opinion, Mark. I think if we look at science and opinions are not different length wave. We're talking about science. It's science. You can't debate that with an opinion. You know what I'm saying? So when people throw their opinion, I think that this is, come on, really, don't think. Just read, inform yourself, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel that this, like you said, we'll get through it together. If we don't get together, we won't get through it. If people don't think alike and don't push all together in one way, it's just not going to happen.
One
You know, and
hope that I definitely have is, I mean, it definitely makes me really respect all that it takes to have, you know, a big heavy metal concert. And I think sometimes when you get too used to that, having that, you know, every weekend or something, it does lose how special it really is. So hopefully a lot of people will realize that when they get a chance to go support, you know, someone like King Diamond, or you know, someone that's definitely getting up there and been around for a long time and still getting a chance to see that, seeing maybe Halloween when they come through again with Hammerfall. I guess in Europe it's going to be,
oh my God,
that's pretty exciting. So yeah, hopefully we can get to a place where people can feel safe going out to see Halloween and Hammerfall.
and the
By
Maiden
that
comes
time.
around again. I mean, I want to go see that again.
You have to. I want to see my Metallica boys because I was supposed to see them last year, but obviously did not happen. So I still
Correct.
want to see them.
Mankind
Gotta
has
see 'em.
denied us of a bunch of stuff.
It's true. Well, we were prepared for this, living in the heavy metal world and the heavy metal lyrics. So if anyone was prepared to get through it, it was metalheads. But Mr. Denoso, thank you for stopping by. Listeners out
problem.
there, definitely check out the playlist and check out Alonzo's work on YouTube and streaming platforms. But yeah, Heavy Radio 27. Thank you guys. We will see you next week.
Stay safe. Save metal.